What's up, YouTube? Welcome welcome back to the Saving Men's Lives Network, where all men and boys are welcome and our issues are treated with the respect that they deserve. Excellence is our goal. A place to remind you that you are loved, that you do have intrinsic value, and to suggest that you do yourself no harm. Today, fellas, I wanted to talk about the men going their own way movement, the philosophy behind it, the foundation stones that it's made out of, and why it's gaining in popularity in recent times, especially here in the industrialized West. You see, gentlemen, once upon a time, the social contract between men and women was well known to everybody around the world, in every corner of the globe. Today we refer to these things as the traditional gender roles, but that's just a label most folks are used to using. But what it really explained, and properly so, was that by and large, men and women are very good at two very different types of things. We can tell this simply by looking at things like the U.S. Department of Labor statistics data. You can type in the top male-dominated fields, see what those fields are, and what they make on average in terms of the annual salary. And you type in the top 5 or top 10 or even top 20 female-dominated fields. And likewise, you can see what those jobs are, what they entail, and what they pay. And what you'll notice, if you're the kind of person that knows how to pay attention and knows how to watch trends, is men, by and large, love working with inanimate objects, things, if you will. And women, by and large, like working with people, plants, and animals. Now, here's the deal. This isn't to say that one is better than the other, but we've gotten to a place, and I mentioned before, the social contract, where after more than 100 years of feminism, which has been a powerful force in blurring the line between masculine and feminine in terms of behavior, in terms of expectations, that so many of the modern females, after being indoctrinated from day one effectively, and now they're adults, they have become these, for lack of a better term, monsters in terms of their entitlement, in terms of their obnoxious behavior, in terms of their presentation. You know, we have absolute laughable concepts in today's society called the body positive movement. We've got things called shaming. It's a whole category of totally fictitious terms used to tell men effectively that what we prefer in the women we want to keep company with, in the women we want to invest in, that we are somehow ineffective if we don't like the way women are presenting themselves in the exact opposite manner. For instance, they call it slut shaming. If you don't want to commit to a woman who's had relationships of a sensual and sexual nature with everybody in your town but you, if you're the last guy on the train, how dare you not want to take a ride? It's embarrassing. They call it fat shaming. If you are the kind of guy, especially if you're the kind of guy who watches his diet, you drink a gallon of water a day, and you work out a minimum of 3 hours every week, they're telling you there's something wrong with you for not taking on the burden of a woman who might outweigh you by anywhere from 60 to 200 pounds. You're the problem. Not her lack of discipline with her dietary choices and her lack of commitment to an exercise program or routine. You're the problem, not her. And the list goes on and on. So you combine that with behavior that is obnoxious, an overall lack of respect for both men and what we've created. You can go further to say what we provide to any relationship and any society. And what we have to choose from truly is the relationship equivalent of dumpster diving. And so a lot of men, both young and old alike, have thrown their hands into the air and said, you know what, the hell with this. If I've got nothing to pick from, then I won't do any picking at all. I'm going to take this opportunity, my time, my energy, and my other resources, and I'm going to devote these things to making me better. There's places I've always wanted to go, activities I've always wanted to do, people I've always wanted to meet. So I'm going to do that. And these young men are going to win in the end, because societies are built up and built around the most productive in that society. And if young men devote their passions and their talents inward towards themselves, and they build up themselves and thus the people around them that they care about the most, they don't have a biological time bomb ticking in their abdomen called a uterus. They don't have a stopwatch saying you have these many fertile years with which to reproduce, if reproduction is even on their agenda to do. Some guys have given up hope of that as well due to the confiscatory and extortionist nature of child support laws here in the West. And I can't say I blame them. Why should you have to pay a tax to someone you no longer have sexual access to? At her direction, government enforced. And so great many men have decided, you know what? I'd rather go MGTOW. I'd rather work every extra shift I can get my hands on. Weekends, nights, holidays. I would rather take on the assignments that pay more, that put me in mortal danger, to stack my money up, do the homework, do the research, and go overseas if necessary, if I have to A, find a companion, or B, to research the possibility of me becoming a father through surrogacy. That way, I just purchase a donated egg, combined with my seed. I find a young woman who's willing and healthy to carry that seed to full term. I might even pay her a couple extra $1,000 after the baby's born to produce the breast milk for me. I can put in the freezer on ice to be thawed out later on for a year, or at least the first year of the kid's life. Shake her hand, thank her for her service, and have the opportunity to be the good father I know I always could have been. But the woman I would have had to choose from would have gladly taken the opportunity to extort me financially, to cause problems for me emotionally, by using all manner of trickery and whatery, trying to be nice for the YouTube algorithm, but all kinds of tactics and tricks and traps to keep me from my children as often as I'd like to see them, which for most men is every single day, tucking them into bed every single night. And so my perspective on all of this is, these men have a valid point, because if you live here in industrialized West, you know what it's become. You know what it's become as a result of social media, as a result of the dating apps, which I recommend you guys get off of as soon as possible. Delete them all from your phone, off your tablet, off your computer. Get the hell off of the dating apps, fellas. Because most women that are up there, that aren't up there for the quick hookup, are only up there for an ego boost. Well, I got 25 guys I haven't even responded to yet in my inbox. Maybe I'll pick one, maybe I won't. But because I look like I look, because whatever, I've got these guys on my job, blowing me up, wanting a piece of the action. But they never want to actually go on a date with any of those guys. They just want to be uplifted because they had a bad day at work today. Don't let that be you, fellas. Get off of the dating apps. But beyond that, though, when you add all these things together, social media, the guys at her job, the guys at her school, modern women, especially here in the West, have the multiple options fallacy. I would call it the multiple options paradox. And if you ever babysat little kids, you know what that is. If you say, hey, Junior, I'm taking you to Baskin Robbins. They got 31 flavors of ice cream. You be standing there all damn day waiting for that kid to pick a flavor. Unless they have a sure enough favorite. They walk in there, 31 flavors for a little kid. You be there all night waiting for that kid to pick one. However, if you say, hey, Junior, I got chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Which one you want? Much faster will be the conclusion of that decision making. When you got 400 guys in your DMs, another 50 on your dating apps, you got 3 guys at work blowing you up, these women are not girlfriend material, because women as a default are constantly looking for a new way, a new thing, a new whatever that's hopefully greener on the other side. But the grass isn't always greener over there. So they leave behind themselves a body count which includes a lot of good men who were thrown away because they thought they had a better deal just over the horizon. Well, I say this to all my men and young boys who've decided to go their own way, whether you've been in one bad relationship after another and you're tired of going through it, whether you've gotten out of a bad marriage and now you're single again, 70 to 90% of the time was her idea, despite the promises she made to you and the good Lord up above. Hell, some of you guys going your own way are 14 years old, never had a wife, maybe one girlfriend or two, but you are an observant young man and you see the world for what it is and where it's going, and you're not impressed. In fact, you're horrified and you want no part of it. You want to focus on you. You want to focus on being the best version of yourself that you possibly can be, and I salute you in that. I want to celebrate you in that endeavor, because it need not be where you're compromising yourself to try and placate and make happy an organism which loves being miserable to have something to complain about. If you're going your own way, you have a home here at the Saving Men's Lives Network. You will not be spoken of in disparaging terms. You will not be called misogynists. You will not be called incels, because at the end of the day, fellas, a man doesn't have to be the most attractive guy in the room to command the respect of those around him. All you need be is successful enough at everything you love and willing to put the time in to make it the best that you can. And guys will see the effort you put in. Your fellow men will understand the work and the time you put in to become the guy that you've become. And at the end of the day, that's all you really need. A female companion is great when they're well behaved. But when they're not well behaved, when they're out of pocket, talking crazy, doing crazy, violating your boundaries, it's a millstone around your neck, dragging you down to the bottom of the river. And you know what happens next in that scenario. So I say hold your heads up high, fellas. Do what you came to do and master yourself before allowing someone else access to the life that you call your current situation. Ask yourself where you want to be in 5 years from now, and if she, whoever she might be, is going to be an integral and useful part of that equation. If not, you need to cut her loose. I don't care how good she is in the sack. I don't care how pretty she is, all dressed up and prettied up for the ball or the prom or a party your friends throwing next Thursday. No. If she's not helping you, she's hurting you. And everything that hurts you, if it's not the pain of pushing them reps out in the gym, needs to be removed from your life. Stand firm, gentlemen. Stand strong. Adapt and overcome. That said, that's my time, jealous. That's my time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon to be notified when I drop a new video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you plan to do to improve your life as it currently stands. And share this content with a friend or a young man who you mentor, a coworker, a family member who you think could benefit from what it is that we do here. Till next time, fellas, it's the Save Men's Lives Network. There's more to come.